Hello and welcome back to Reading Reddit. Let's go ahead and get into our first story. Entitled parent attacks me when I refuse to let a daughter steal my bike. This is written by Reddit user iHasbutter4. This story happened 7 years ago on my birthday. I just turned 11. I'm 17 now. Turning 18 later this year, so the details may have been misremembered. My grandma was over to visit and drop off presents. My bike was on the front porch. After a while, my grandma noticed a group of 3 teens approaching the front porch, grabbed my bike, and began walking off. My mum quickly ran up to them and confronted them about it, telling them to give my bike back. They gave some BS excuse about it belonging to one of their brothers, despite the fact that I had the bike for 3 years before I moved into that house. Before admitting they were wrong and giving it back, we thought the situation was over. It was not. It was an hour later, and I was outside, playing with some neighbors. One of the teens returned, this time accompanied by her mother. She walks up to me and demands that I give her daughter my bike. I explained that she tried to steal it. She says that she didn't, and even if she did, I should still give it to her because if it was that unsecured, I deserved to lose it. When I still didn't comply, she begins to yell at me. I don't remember much of what she yelled, but one thing I very clearly remember was, "How dare you accuse my innocent name of bike thief? You'll pay for hurting her feelings." Being 11, I don't know what to do, and I began to break down and cry. This is when my neighbor called the cops. The enraged parent then picked me up and began choking me. Being a slightly underweight 11-year-old, I was powerless to do anything against the woman. This is when my ex-Marine dad comes home from work. With a fury I haven't seen before, or since this incident, he slams her to the ground and says, "Get your hands off my son." She then gets back up and begins arguing, but it's clear that she is all bark and no bite at this point. One of my neighbors had caught the whole thing on tape and gave the cops the evidence they needed to arrest her for assault of a minor. I eventually met the girl at a grocery store 4 years later, when she apologized for trying to steal my bike and explained that her foster parents were, and I quote, 1,000 times better than her mother. Entitled parent tries to get me expelled and put in prison over fishing. By Reddit user Dirt Roads 2. So I was in 5th grade. Columbine just happened, a deadly school shooting. So all the schools across the country were on edge. Cue me, an innocent 5th grader, talking to my innocent friend about a fishing trip his grandpa was going to take him on, and I was invited. It was gonna be for 5 or 6 hours, and his grandpa was gonna buy us McDonald's. Really Hooters, but we couldn't tell our mums this. So me and my friend were talking, and he asked what kind of fish I normally fish for. I told him mostly bass, bluegill, and sunfish. He asked me about pike, if I had the proper lures and such for pike, and I said no. But my friend said he'd got extra and he would make sure to bring it along. This is on Thursday, and we were going to go fishing Saturday. Well, we had these hooks outside the classroom where our backpacks were, and this is where we were talking. I asked about pike, and this and that, and we were just talking about fishing. Kid somehow wanted to be a dick and ratted me out to his mum. Not friend, just me. We show up Friday and notice cop cars and this like truck sort of thing. Turns out it was something to do with SWAT or tactical team, and everybody thought it was just the DAR program. I go to hang my backpack up and get my folders out when I get tackled by 2 cops when the whole school gets evacuated while SWAT and bomb squads are searching the whole school. The kid told his mom I made bombs and was gonna bomb the school, and she flipped out. Everybody's confused, and that's when I'm dragged away in handcuffs and taken to the principal's office where the kid and his entitled mother is. The entitled mother says, "That's him! Take him to prison! He's a danger!" The kid says, "Yeah, he was gonna bomb the school." And then me? Very confused. What? When or where did I say anything close to that? I want pops. Principal says, "You can talk to your father after." Me, "No, call him now." The principal, "I will call your mother as I know her from the PTA, but not your father." Me, "Call Pops. I want him here before I answer any questions about anything." Entitled mother, "See? He's guilty." The kid, "Don't call his dad. The kid has met my Pops and knows Pops don't put up with shit." The principal, "No. Kid, what exactly did he say?" Entitled mother, "Tell him, baby. It's okay. You won't be in trouble, I promise." The kid says, "He said he was gonna make pike bombs." Me, what? Entitled mother, "A goddamn pipe bomb. Like in Columbine, you idiot." Principal, "Pike bomb?" Me, Where do you even get pike bomb? Do you mean, like, the fish? The kid, yeah, because they kamikaze themselves and blow up. Entitled mother, see? He admits it. Me. Entitled mother, see the psycho is laughing. Principal, what's so funny? Me. Me and my friend are planning a fishing trip with his grandfather to go fishing, and I've never fished for pike before, so we were talking about leaders and lures and stuff to catch pike from the lake stream by friend's grandfather's place. I ended up getting off scot-free, but the kid told everyone for the next 7 years I was gonna bomb and blow up the school. I was considered the problem child till I graduated because of those two fucktards. Entitled parents are offended by my heart surgery scars, thinks I'm promoting Satanism. Written by Reddit user The Dead Girl Walks. So the Witch of Evil, just kidding, is EM, the entitled mum. ED is for the entitled dad, and LK is for little kid. About 2 years ago, I worked as a hostess at a family-style tap house during the summer months. The location was down near the mall, and a few of my friends' houses, so I would change clothes after work and walk downtown. I was sometimes sent home due to it not being very busy, and today was one of those days. I threw on some jean shorts, and a tube top, and a light flannel, and I had packed for the event, and I was let out early enough to hang with friends. Some of my friends were hanging a few blocks away at a comic book shop, close enough so I could walk. After signing out, I said goodbye to my co-workers and set off. The tube tops didn't show a lot of chest, but enough to show that I had a fair amount of scars. My breasts had also caused them to warp a bit, and caused them to be a bit more noticeable. I didn't care, and by this time was rather proud of them. So when people asked about them, I was able to tell them what happened and seemed like a normal human person. I was also keeping my ADD and ADHD under control for the most part. It was still there, but I could act normal. In earlier posts on this sub, I explained that I had a lot of scars all over my chest area. And the biggest one looked like an upside down cross down the middle of my chest and close to my stomach. This was due to congenital heart diseases and congenital dystrophic hernias when I was little, and the surgeries I went through to fix them. The story takes place after 4 years after the pool story, and by this time I was more comfortable with my chest and don't take as much BS from people. As I was walking downtown, I got a text from one of my friends from the comic shop said that I should definitely bring them food and they would pay me back. Pretty standard lazy teen stuff, so I agreed and went to the nearest convenience store on the way. I walked in and went into the snack food aisle and started to pick out chips and pop and such. As I was headed down the candy section, a family of 3 walked in. A mum, entitled mother, dad, entitled dad, and a little kid, LK, who was about 6. I heard the small kid crying about something, but other than that, I didn't pay much mind to them. I was picking out candy to give to my friends because I feel generous. I was getting paid that weekend. I squatted to look at the candies when a little kid came waddling down the aisle looking at the sweets. I saw him coming and waving to him as he was laughing at the colourful packaged candies. He ran up to me laughing, reaching for the candy I was holding. Almond Joy, I think. That's right, judge me. I handed it to him, knowing I could just get another. I was really happy, and then noticed the scars on my upper chest and pointed in a curious way. I adjusted my tube top a bit, just in case the entitled kid asks, "What's that on your chest?" I smiled and told him that I was sick, but now I'm all better. It was just I told kids I knew probably wouldn't understand medical jargon. Entitled kid seemed satisfied with that response and ran off with the candy I gave him. I'd gotten my candy and went to the checkout with the goods to pay. I'd set my stuff on the table when I glanced and saw the little kid talking with his parents near the entrance to the store. At first I thought the mum was going to be mad about the Almond Joy, but she didn't seem to care, and I thought it was all good. Entitled mother and entitled dad started to look concerned, then angry. I had no idea what the little kid was saying. Then the entitled dad whipped his head around to look at me. I had no clue what was going on. Then the little kid pointed to his chest, and my heart dropped into my stomach. The entitled parents looked pretty ticked off, and the entitled dad was staring daggers into me, and I pretended not to notice. I could tell where he was looking at my chest now. I was used to feeling, and it usually didn't bother me as much, but I knew something was about to happen. Sure enough, as I collected my bags, I felt a sharp tap on my shoulder, and I turned around to find both entitled mother and entitled dad looking at me with irritated looks, which immediately put me on the defensive side. I didn't say anything, I just looked at them, waiting for whatever was coming. This apparently wasn't a good idea. The entitled mother slowly looked down at my chest and back up at my face. I let her look. I was used to looks like this, and I didn't care at this point. The entitled mother didn't like that and said, "So you think it's cool promoting that kind of lifestyle?" I'll admit that threw me for a loop. Not really knowing how to respond to that, I said, "Sorry? What?" The entitled dad then said, "You know damn well what. People like you are going to hell. The fact that you think it's okay to tell kids about this is so disturbing." I was honestly hurt and had no idea why I was even hurt. I knew they were talking about my scars, but I didn't know why they were so offended. I then hesitantly asked them, "Are you talking about my surgical scars?" That caused the entitled dad to look like he was having a stroke. He got up close to my face. Entitled dad said, "You think I look like a fucking idiot, don't you? Quit spreading that Satanist propaganda bullshit around my son." I quickly stepped back as he said this, and realization clicked. They thought my scars were a cult thing, from what I could gather, due to it looking like an upside down cross. And for some reason, I had the desire to play along and a desire to laugh. But I kindly explained to them that they were from heart problems in the past, and I tried to give them a summary of my history. They didn't believe me, and this only got them more pissed. The entitled mother started spouting off about lying and being disrespectful. At this point, I was really irritated for being yelled at and told that I was going to leave and they were seriously messed up. Then the dad told me he was going to call the police for harassment and endangerment to his son. I really didn't want that and took out my card that I carried around just in case paramedics found me so they would know about my conditions and showed it to the entitled parents. They looked at it for maybe 4 seconds and went quiet. The entitled mother looked really embarrassed and turned red, but the entitled dad didn't look convinced. He said that I was lying and the medicine wouldn't leave anyone looking that fucked up and ugly, and that I needed to leave before I caused any more damage to his family. I told him I was sorry that my medical history inconvenienced them in the most mock customer service voice I could, and walked out the door. But not being that entitled dad yelled after me a bunch of curses, and called me a witch, and that I was going to hell. I walked with my jacket off the rest of the way to the comic store. My friends and I still laugh about it sometimes. Thanks for listening to all the stories, guys. If you enjoyed this, make sure you smash that like button, guys. And if you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. There's more content coming out. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.